Welcome to Watercolor Painting, Teen Art Studio. Thanks for joining us. Today we are going to be exploring some watercolor painting techniques and eventually create our own watercolor piece using some of the techniques that we've learned in the beginning of this lesson. So what you see before you are the materials that you'll need for today's class. Today we have a palette with watercolor paints inside. You can use any form of watercolor paints that you have. It could be hard paints that are already in the palette, but it is important to have a range of brushes if you can. These types of brushes that down here are brushes that you typically find when you use watercolor paints, and by range I mean width, and you want something that can carry a nice amount of water. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I've divided up this small piece of paper, I'd say about 8 by 11 or 12, and I have different categories, you'll see, I will apply different techniques to each of these boxes. I use regular blue painter's tape and just divided up the paper. You can do as many as you like. There are lots and lots of techniques. I'm going to go over the most basic right now with you. So after you set up your 8 boxes at home, we're going to begin to go to the first section, which is going to be the wet in wet technique. And basically what this means is you'll be applying some water. So I got my big watercolor brush, saturated the fibers of the tips of the brush with water, and I'm going to just overlay it right over that box to make sure that it is nice and saturated with water. Now, to apply paint to the wet paint, you'll have to first, let's go with, I'm gonna do blue. You'll need to get a lot of water on your brush and a little bit of paint. So you don't want to overload your brush with a lot of paint because a little bit of watercolor goes a really long way. So noticing that this is wet in wet, you basically want to create something called a wash. And I'm not at all paying attention to the sides of this border because there's tape there, so the tape will resist that. Okay, there's your wet on wet. And if you really wanted to get fun with colors, you could add a little bit of a color that might mix well with the color that you've laid down. For me, I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in there and you'll see what happens. Now imagine if this were dry paint on top of each other. You'd have a completely different effect, which is what we will explore now. So the next one, we're going to go completely opposite and go for a dry brush, which means not applying any sort of water to your brush and going directly into the watercolor paint. You'll need a semi-wet palette for this. So the dry watercolors are not necessarily going to work for you. And above here, I have this little scrap paper, so that's where I can kind of practice. Great, so that's the technique that I want. And I'm just going to go right over. And this, the paint captures the intricacies of the paper, so it's creating a sort of texture without really doing much of anything at all, aside from dragging the brush across the paper. Now, if I wanted to go back in there and make a portion of it wet, you would no longer get that textured effect. What the paint is doing is skipping over the porous areas of the paper. Watercolor paper is generally pretty porous. It likes to capture all of the water that we put down. All right, so the next technique is going to be wet on dry. So opposite of wet in wet, we're going to do wet on dry. Actually, I'll move down here. And this is an important part of this lesson. I'm going to apply regular water, clear water, and you need to kind of let this process dry. And that is the key to watercolor painting, is allowing drying time when necessary. Okay, good. I got a nice wash. And typically watercolors dry a little bit lighter than when they are applied. So this will just tint the paper very lightly blue. We'll come back to that because we're going to be applying dry paint right on top of it in just a second. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with dry paint directly on top of, it's still a little wet. Great. Next, we are going to be doing that wash that we were talking about. So I'm going to switch over to my hefty brush, get some nice clear water down. And using my flat edge, I'm going to go in and just apply a wash, which is just a vague sort of tint of a color or hint of a color in the background of your piece. It's usually pretty even, no paint strokes. And you just want to be careful of the amount of paint that you put on your paintbrush. Great. Now we're going to be moving into layering. So I'm going to also apply another layer of paint down, but keeping in mind that we are going to need to allow some paint time. Drying time. So we'll give that one a second to dry and we'll move on to another technique. Oh, this is a fun one. I love to incorporate sorts of alternative materials into my watercolor painting to add effects. You can put glue onto your surface and paint around it and remove the glue afterwards. That kind of acts like this blue painter's tape here. You can also apply a color. I'll do some blue. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt. This works really well to gather your paint. The paint ends up pooling near the salt here. So once that's dry, you'll see a really cool effect. Moving on, I'm going to show you how to lift, how to almost erase. When we paint with watercolors, we want to use the white of our paper as any highlights or white color. There technically is no white watercolor paint. There are in some palettes, but it's best achieved if you use the white of the paper. So I'm going to lay down a color. Let's do green. I'm going to let that dry for a minute, and then I'll show you kind of how to erase through this. So I'll give it a second or two. So with a completely clean new brush, I'm going to get some nice clean water. And I'm just going to work my way through the piece. And you'll also probably want to use a little bit of a paper towel to blot it up. You can also use a sponge. That's very, very effective. But if you make a mistake or you want to emphasize the highlights, you can remove the paint with a sponge, a paper towel, anything that absorbs water. And this can even work towards your final piece. And we have our final box here, and this is an experimental box. You can do whatever you like, fooling around with these different types of techniques of watercolor. So I'm going to go in and just have a little bit of fun. It's important to note that acting quickly with watercolor paints is probably the best advice that you can do. We're not working on an oil painting where you need lots and lots of that paint to get a color. For this, you are working with a very transparent type of paint. That's the beauty of it. It's the quickness and the nuances that allow water and transparency with paintings to create some of these pieces. If you look up some artists that have used watercolor paintings, some famous artists like Turner, JMW Turner, he uses a lot of these techniques within his paintings, but you can also see how vague the paintings could seem, but also very specific in many ways too. So take a look at that. I'm going to move on to my next painting, and that's, after you're done with this, that's exactly what you guys are going to be doing. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see this, but I've drawn a very basic and vague description of my still life so that I can have a better understanding proportionally where everything fits prior to delving in with the watercolor, because you have to be very strategic when it comes to applying your watercolor. So I'm all set up. I got my paper towel, got my fresh water, got all my brushes that are cleaned, and I have my palette. So I kind of left the same colors on from the practice before, but I cleaned at the middle spot so I can get everything just right. I'm only going to be using a few colors. Right from the get-go, I noticed that I'm going to need yellow, green, and a little bit of purple. All right. So I'm going to do a wash over the entire thing. I'm going to kind of avoid the areas where the lemons would be. And the background kind of, it has a little bit of a grayish undertone to it. I want to make sure that it's purple. The reason I do want to make it purple is actually because purple and yellow are complementary colors, and you can see traces of purple in that lemon if you look hard enough in the darker areas. So I want to keep my palette very minimum with color, with using only a few colors, but getting that real vibrancy that happens when you combine complementary colors. Okay, so I got this purple really watered down. You can just see a very basic tint of this purple, which is exactly what I'm going for. I don't want it just to be white. That's not fun, and that's not true. So I noticed I just lost a brush hair, which is going to happen pretty frequently, depending on the quality of brushes that you have. And I just want to get a little bit more pigment. I typically don't mix with this brush because it can carry the paint all the way down to the head of it. So I just want to make sure everything's mixed thoroughly. There we go. And if I notice that this is too pigmented, I can go in with my paper towel and get some of that off, which I'm gonna do over the lemons right now. I want to see no trace of any paint strokes. Great, and here's my paper towel. I'm just gonna go over some of the areas of this lemon. Then we are gonna let this dry. Great. Okay, let's let it dry for a little bit until it's totally dry, and then we can start the layering technique and some wet on dry. Okay, so I finally was able to remove the tape somewhat successfully, and I also labeled exactly what was discussed as we apply the techniques. So you'll see everything we did here, and I also took the tape off of our piece. There we go. It's a quick acting process. I really recommend taking your time with the layering and making sure everything is dry. If everything is not dry, you will not get the effects you're hoping. And I'm going to go ahead and start something a little bit bigger. And we can't wait to see what you've done. So make sure you share with us all of the watercolor painting techniques you've applied, any paintings that you think you'd think that would be helpful for other people to see. We'd love to see you share that. Thanks so much. Please upload your artwork to Art Sonia. It is a online platform that we will be holding our spring exhibition in. So you'll see details below. Thanks so much. Looking forward to seeing you soon.